AI isn't just changing how we work, it's redefining how we lead and solve problems. Imagine having an assistant that can analyze data, brainstorm ideas, and solve problems, even plan your next big move all in seconds. That's what custom GPTs are doing for leaders, entrepreneurs, and teams around the world. Today, we are excited to explore how these tools can help you think bigger, work smarter, and solve bigger challenges. And here's the best part. We're sharing access to a demo version of our custom Co-CEO GPT, plus a markdown template to help create your own. So stick around to find out how to take your next first step into the world of AI-powered leadership.
Or we're going to call this episode, You're Fired.
So hey there, welcome back to Embers Rising. I'm Wendy J, and as always, I'm joined by my incredible husband, co-host, partner in growth, David Tucker.
The guy that you never know what he's going to say next.
So first off, huge thank you to our listeners for pressing play today. You are here because you're not just looking to keep up, you're looking to rise, and you're curious and ambitious and ready to embrace the tools and strategies that can help you take you to the next level. Now, today's topic is all about custom GPTs. So if you're tuning in for that or you want to learn more about custom GPTs, we are here for you because we know it is a game changer when it comes to just working smarter and just getting better and solving problems. So AI tools are tailored to your unique needs. And it's something, if you didn't know, you can actually do this in the world of GPTs. Now, these tools aren't just for CEOs or for tech pros. Anybody can do this as long as you can reimagine what you would like for your outcome. And you're really training AI to solve your bigger problems faster or lead with impact for what you want to get out of it. So let's dive in. Hey, Dave, listen, what does GPT stand for? Because, a lot of people say, what is GPT? What does GPT stand for? Do you know?
You know what? It stands for, I guess, I'm fired. It's either escaping me or I don't know.
So, we know that AI stands for artificial intelligence.
I've got that one.
Okay. So GPT, and I just wanted to double check it, it does stand for Generative Pre-training Transformer. Generative Pre-training Transformer.
Ask me again next time and I will have forgotten again.
Generative. So this is why we say GPT. So if you're just tuning in, you're like, what the heck is GPT? So Generative Pre-training Transformer. You're pre-training artificial intelligence software, okay? So just to simplify it, you're pre-training artificial intelligence software. And what we're talking about is on a software tool called ChatGPT, which you can download to your desktop or your phone. And it's actually called ChatGPT. There's a lot of GPTs out there. So this one specifically is called ChatGPT, and it should be white, I believe, with a black logo, and we can show it here on YouTube if you're watching this here on YouTube. But this is specifically which one we're talking about.
And it's the great place to start for everybody if you're just getting started. And I know I was a little tongue-in-cheek at the beginning of the episode when I said, you're fired. But if you listen to the whole episode, you will start to feel I'm hired, right? Because if you know this, you're going to be able to move on in your business, your life, or your career at a higher level. Because the truth is AI is going to replace people in certain circumstances, but the people that know how to run the GPTs, the AI, will be employed for a long time to come at a higher value.
Yeah, and let's face it, leadership has never been more challenging at this point. You're talking about a team that is afraid to lose their jobs, and then you're talking about people that, are not willing to skill up, and then you're talking about people on your team that are willing to skill up. Now, you have, as a leader, endless amounts of data to sift through and decisions to make and fires to put out. But here's the thing. AI isn't just working faster. It's really working smarter and to help you solve bigger problems. And custom GPTs are game changers because they're designed to work the way you want to work. And GPTs want you to have the right answers. So they can help you. And I'm just going to label a few things. And Dave, you can pipe in on this, please. They can help you analyze data to help you make informed decisions. They can help solve complex problems by brainstorming creative solutions. They can free up repetitive tasks so you can focus on what really matters, like strategy, connection, innovation. there are so many GPT prompts out there that you can actually go explore and get. I would say there's a caveat to that because a lot of them are built for somebody else. And that's why I wanted to share specifically in this episode, give away a co-CEO GPT that you can create yourself. And when I say the word markdown, if you don't know what that means, it's basically a markdown of copy that you can copy and paste, fill in the blanks that make sense for your business. That because I can give you a demo version of our co-CEO, which I will, but it won't make sense for your business, right? You have to fill in the blanks of what makes your business unique. So,
and I just want to say, GPTs, especially the one when it's attached to your phone, has an incredible set of eyes, right? And it can convert what it's seeing into just about any request, but it can also describe it to you. And a really great example was the other day you had some little orange slices in a Ziploc bag just sitting on the counter. And I just took a picture of it and I said, GPT, what am I looking at, right? And it gave me the exact, it appears to be a Ziploc bag full of what appears to be mandarin or clementine orange slices. And then it gave some additional information. And at the end, it was like, thumbs up, this is a great snack. But AI has eyes now, and just practical uses, right? Like you brought me a salad dressing the other day. You're like, could you make something like this? And I turned around, I took a picture of the ingredients, and I told GPT, like, give me a salad dressing recipe that uses everything except this one chemical that I didn't know what it was. And boom, right? I had this Asian sesame citrus dressing that was incredible. And that's sort of where we're at, right? Like practical day to day, there's an unlimited number of things you can do when it's attached to your camera.
And, I always say, why custom GPT? The reason we say why custom GPT is, David's labeling off what GPT can do. And I was just pulling up numerous tasks that GPTs can do. But I want to circle back to custom GPTs because GPT can do a lot of things. But when you are wanting something repetitive, that's where you get into custom GPTs to create your own, to have your own, or to use someone else's that you can get the answer to, especially when it's a repetitive task. When you're talking about content creation, when you're talking about emails, when you're talking about coding or data analysis, or when you're talking about figuring out some code or tool integration, and it's a repetitive task, that's where custom GPTs can help you, including even leadership. It really helps support businesses, support like marketing strategies, business plans, ideation. I want to say branding, customer support. In education and training, it can help you build study and learning guides, learning tools, teaching aids even. In lifestyle and productivity, we're talking about personal coaching, scheduling, fitness plans, recipes. Over the weekend, I typed in, here is my problem to my co-CEO. Can you help me reframe the highest priority? Here's all the things that I'm doing, and here's the solution that I want. Can you look at my list of 25 things, and for this next week, give me a high priority list? And I'll be darned if it actually did it, Dave. I was pretty impressed.
No, I'm impressed every day.
Like, wow. And then I said to it, can you please reformat this to make it easy to read so that I can copy paste it into a GDoc? And sure enough, it reformatted it. And I was like, this is fantastic. These are the things that we're learning what AI can do. Now, here's the thing. You're also teaching AI. That's why it's this generative pre-training, right? You are teaching this AI to do the thing that you want, the outcome that you want. So I really love this. And I mean, this goes beyond into creative arts, when we're talking about visuals and images,
right.
And it's just blowing my mind, especially when you are concepting and you're thinking about ideas and you're asking GPT for a particular concept or several concepts. It's game-changing. Yeah, absolutely game-changing.
It thinks so much quicker than you. So I think we need to maybe just back up for a second and define what's the difference between GPT and a custom GPT, because I think for new users, you can get a little bit lost there.
Yeah.
And like, where do you get a custom one?
Right. So on your GPT dashboard, under a setting, I believe under your name, there's a drop down that calls My GPTs. And when you click that drop down, it allows you to add your own custom GPT, okay? The other place you can get custom GPTs, that's when you create your own, is you can go to a section on your left-hand side of your screen that's called Explore GPTs. And in the search bar, you can search for other people's GPTs that they've created to maybe help you solve the problem that you're looking for. Okay. So there's those two things that are inside your dashboard of ChatGPT.
And here's the benefit, right? Like when you first open GPT and there's no customization, you're just interacting with it. We call that like a zero shot, right? Like it's got no
temperature,
no predefined
For sure.
conditions as to who you are, what you're doing, what you're trying to do. So it's just sort of grabbing information out of the air and it's all relevant. But a custom one, I'll just use my personal example, right? I have one that's made directly for me by me. And it knows I've uploaded my personality type, right? I've uploaded my workout schedule. I've uploaded the types of businesses and projects that I'm working on. I've uploaded, just a lot of things about who I am, what I do, where I'm headed, what do I want to accomplish. And so I love it in voice mode because you can turn voice mode on and talk to it like you talk to anyone else. And it always greets me. It's like, hey, dude, what's up today, right? It's speaking my rebel language. And when, it's a work in progress. But when you have that, all of a sudden, when you dip in and ask a question or you want to solve a problem, it's solving it partially from your brain because you've pre-programmed it. So for me, that's the big difference.
It's huge. And I was just going to say, I think of your custom GPTs as assistants, right? So you may have 10 assistants, 20 assistants that are helping you think through specifically. Now, when you build custom GPTs, there is this extra layer. Now, David was just talking about how he added in some business documents. You can add in, I believe, up to 20 documents right now per custom GPT to give the eyes to GPT to know what they're shooting for, right? Because zero shot is random search. When you have a custom GPT, now you're targeting what do you want out of it. And that's really important. So when you see something like the custom Co-CEO, you need to upload your mission statement, your brand, your values, your even color palette you can upload. And the reason I say that is because let's say you're concepting something for, I don't know, your business and, I don't know, an email or something, and it's already has your color palette because it'll ask you, well, I'm happy to do this, but I don't know what your color palette is, say, especially if you prompt it to say, hey, I want this in your color palette. They used to say, Dave, if you know how to prompt, you're going to be like highest level. But I think it's more than just prompting. It's about creating what's going to work for you. And I just think that's important. And I really want to dive a little bit more into this, unless you have something to add to this.
Yeah, I would use maybe a business example. You want me to share that?
Yeah,
with
please.
Custom GPT?
Yeah, please.
So in our business, we're now creating them for all our clients, right? And so what the client gets is a GPT that has all of the content that they've ever written on their website, social media. It has all of maybe the search terms that they're trying to score for. It has all of their ad history and what works in terms of conversions. It has their buyer persona. It has their mission. It has their brand framework. And then we upload, specific templates around creating content and sales and persuasion frameworks and personality frameworks and, how to create effective hooks. You just create this marketing tool that you can then hand over and they can give it to their team and they can ask a question like, all right, we're thinking about writing a blog on ABC. Have we ever written a blog like that before? And boom, boom, boom. You see the examples. Well, we want to target this keyword. Well, you had this one. How did it perform? It knows, well, you're like number 7 in Google for this. So you're like, all right, I need to be number 1. And you start to be able to create this very quick direction on how to conquer the number 1 position in Google for a search term that's going to bring you business. That's like a common use case that we're doing with all our clients right now. And you just expand that out to, social media and any sort of content creation, sales funnels, emails, hiring, firing, right? Like I had someone talk to me the other day, like, hey, I had a really hard job to do. I needed to discipline someone and I didn't know the language. And I put it in the GPT and I'm like, this says exactly what I want to say, and it says in a way that HR won't, drag me outside and burn me in the back. So, so that's a business use case scenario.
Well, I was going to give you some more examples. There's the Negotiator by OpenAI GPT, the Mocktail Mixologist by OpenAI. There's the Canva GPT. There's Slide Creator. There is, and I have prompts for these that I'm looking at. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to share that one. There's even Facebook data analysis. If you're really
data analysis is huge.
Is data analysis.
Like, let's stop at data analysis.
Yeah, let's do.
Tell a story of your blood labs. That's perfect data analysis, because we all have this experience. And by the way, I'm just going to put a disclaimer here. We're not doctors, or we're not giving medical advice.
Yeah.
Please consult your physician before doing this.
So we did share this in another episode. What I was frustrated with is I had a bunch of data from my blood labs since maybe like 12 or 15 years worth of data. The problem is with blood labs, unless you're with a company that's using AI like Inside Tracker, you really need, if you're doing annual labs and you're keeping up on, or you're doing twice a year, you need to see the rhythm every year of how it's what you're scaling, ups and downs of what you're losing, and that comparison, right? Because your primary doctor more than likely is not going to provide you. They're going to look at last year's. You're like, well, it looks better than last year or whatever. What I wanted was an overall view. And it's exactly why I signed up for Inside Tracker, because they were able to do some of that. However, Inside Tracker is still struggling with personalizing your data. So I decided to take all of my data. Now, remember, you can also overfeed GPT, so you have to do it in chunks and sections. What I did was I created a health GPT, a custom health GPT, and I asked it to please take all this data and create a chart, a graph, and actually export all this data in a CSV file as well. So,
and how many days did it take you to type in each blood lab and result?
0, right? Because we are talking, you can either screenshot or swipe in your PDF.
Right. You can actually take a picture of your phone.
Oh, sure.
And just upload it. It's like, boom, there it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was doing it in chunks. It was all many years of lab work. And I wanted that data. I wanted to see it correlated, but I wanted to see it in different ways. So I wanted, first of all, to see it in a CSV file, so I could see that it was all there. And I wanted to make sure, okay, from 2015 all the way down to present, all my labs are there. Okay, great, check mark. 2, I want to see a graph chart of each of these. I want to see different ways I can chart this so I can visually see. And now I want to ask recommendations for what could be improved this year with my latest labs. And I actually want to get into supplements. What supplements? And then I went further than that, Dave. I said, not only just what supplements, what companies should I be trusting in the supplement world right now? Now, I know that it's pulling just from what it can see currently out there. So it is not still 100%. But I was getting back incredible data that I'm actually following right now, that I'm actually making changes. Now, I haven't shared that with my primary, but I'm not, the primary is not going to be able to have the AI concept in their brain to guide me through that much data. They don't either have the time. So I took it upon myself to just create my own health GPT and go through the process of that. That's one of the ways.
The primary would be like, what are you doing? And they would also say, you're sharing some of your health data potentially online.
Yeah.
Which is true, right? There, in a general just GPT setting, your input is feeding the model that is creating the knowledge base, right? And there are ways to do it in advanced ways where what you upload is partitioned off and not shared with the rest of the world.
Right.
That's an advanced move, but just know that that's available.
Yeah, it is available. So like if you have high priority documents, or VIPs or whatever you have that you cannot share, there are certain LLMs, learning language models, that can, privatize your information. And a lot of corporate companies already have that. There are built in, like if you're working for corporate, they probably are, and you're already on GPT, they have you locked down already on an LLM. So that's already happening out there. But for your own personal use, you could, instead of just giving it to search, create your own custom GPT and have it privately to you, to what you want. So
for us, I don't care if the world could figure
I don't
out,
care about anyone
know
about
by
my blood
vitamin
test.
D level, what are you going to do with it? So
the Facebook, the data analysis, this is another way you can use it, is getting your reports back from your agency and testing it yourself. Like, oh, let me see if this marketing agent is actually doing their job. Maybe take the last 3 years of your data analysis reports and upload it to GPT and ask the GPT, hey, could you do analysis? What are we missing? And I always ask this question, by the way. Write this down. I always ask this question. Always. What could be improved? Before you even look at the answer, right away, just say, what could be improved? The reason I ask that is because let GPT think for you so that it can look at the results and say, I actually found XYZ could be improved. Let me update this for you and give you a revised version.
I love that. And so I'll say, what questions should I be asking, or what am I missing?
That's really
or
good.
What do you recommend if you were me, right? Put it in that position of thinking for you. And I'm always blown away by the stuff that comes out of there. I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. And then I tell my client, and they're like, you're a genius. And I'm like, yes, I am.
No, that's really good. So I'm just looking at so many prompt templates. We just came from the AI mastery course last year and graduated as AI evangelists, meaning that we have the capacity in our brains to help CEOs scale to next level with a multiple ways of tools and software and automation that we can take you from wherever you're at to the next level. So that's what AI evangelists mean. We're really excited about that. So anyway, to staying on topic on custom GPTs, we just want you to know that they are here to transform the way you also lead if you are a leader. And I think that's really important because when you can automate repetitive tasks to do things for you, even like an accountant GPT, it is allowing us as leaders to focus on what we do best, and then leave the humans to do what we do best, and which is drive, vision. We build connections and we lead with empathy. And those are the 3 things that we need to be focusing on, not just the daily repetitive tasks. When we can drive our vision, when we can build connections, when we could lead with empathy, that's the humanness of what makes us, different than the AI. So in real world examples, when you are a business owner and you're wanting to automate something, this is the time to use a GPT, even for inventory management, or we know that property managements have been taking on custom GPTs for even inventory management. There's whole softwares that can automate this process, including apps, by the way, that can help work with GPT and the app to really free up time. That's the most important. That's all we want. We will all want more time in life. For team leaders, project managers can definitely use custom GPTs to create agendas, track deadlines, track vendors, track billing, summarize project updates, content creations. For entrepreneurs, you can use it as a startup founder, even to brainstorm products, features, and map out go-to markets. I've used it a lot, Dave, where I will go into certain markets that I love and just say, what is this market missing? Or how could I help solve this problem? Those are great questions. Start thinking about the questions that you could help get your answer to, that you maybe have. Or what is the merchandise that could help my Embers Rising community that you guys would love?
Everybody needs a hat. Come on, you need hats.
I know we're definitely doing hats and sweatshirts for sure, and t-shirts. I know it's all coming.
And I just love the way that leaders can use this to just be more efficient in their communication. And an example, I was talking to someone the other day, and they have their weekly meeting, right? And in the weekly meeting, they ask each person that's in the meeting in a department, what's their number one challenge? What are 2 things they're working on? And what do they feel their number one constraint is, right? And then they would go around the table and they would talk about these things. And now they're just having those pre-delivered to their assistant. The assistant puts it in a GPT, collates the whole thing, and instantly, based on revenue or resources, what you should be working on and what the commonalities are.
Right,
you don't
where the
have
bottlenecks
to, You
are.
don't have to talk for 2 hours to go, aha, we should have done this. You're like, aha, this is what we need to be working on. And that's really a leader's job, is to identify that. So
that's a great example.
The quicker you can identify that, the quicker you can solve it and move on to the people problems, which will never go away.
So here's another way I use. Now this isn't for a custom GPT, but here's another way I do use GPT. When I'm in a webinar or a session or a coaching session, there are, we were getting slides, and there are some slides that the speaker has created. It's so minute that it's almost too small to read. They've put too much data on the screen. Literally screenshot that sucker and then throw it into GPT and ask, could you give me a GDoc of this? Like, what's going on this? Tell me to summarize this. That has been a game changer for me, because now I have something I can copy and paste into my own GDoc and really look at, oh, okay, that's what they were trying to show me. You could still add the screenshot, but let's say a screenshot that you took even was a little fuzzy. GPT is actually able to figure that out. It was very impressive.
Very impressive. And if you're an employee, right, and you're getting a presentation from the higher ups, like, here's a trick when they're serious about solving a problem and they're using notes, PowerPoint, something like that, screenshot it, literally click, screenshot, upload it to GPT, and ask them, what is the leader missing? Or what question should I be asking about this? And all of a sudden, you will bubble up as the smartest person out there, right? Because you're thinking exponentially further than what's going on. So I love those sorts of uses where you can just work more efficiently.
Now, I want to share some custom GPTs that I have tested out. There's problem-solving GPTs, like Problems GPT. There's Jobs GPT. If you are worried about your job, there's actually a GPT for jobs that you can go check out. There's Campaigns GPT. There's even KidSafe GPT for parents. And I want to say those diverse because some of us don't even think that way. And we're like, oh my gosh, there's even storytelling GPTs for kids. So, I mean, this is just the beginning, and it just goes on. I mean, there's so many things. And when we're talking about repetitive custom GPTs, like right now, we're doing an episode. We have a podcast GPT. We have a social creator for a podcast GPT that's in our voice and our brand. I have one that I've built that's a social media caption expert. I have one that writes just in my voice. I have a custom GPT. I have one that does direct response copywriting as a GPT. These are incredible. Or even headlines that we can use.
For sure.
It's endless, but I do want to say, the future of custom GPTs, we're still at the very beginning. And, imagine that, you have a real-time advisor in your meetings that is offering data-driven insights like Dave is talking about and predicts industry trends for your business before they happen. That's going to be powerful. These are going to help you build innovative workplaces by reducing the decision making, reducing the cost on what is happening around in your business. Now, the human AI collaboration is right now. We are collaborating with AI, and AI doesn't replace the human side of leadership, which we just talked about. I believe it really amplifies it. By automating these mundane tasks, you free up the time to lead with creativity, vision, and empathy. And I think that's what's the most important to all of us leaders, is we need the time to do that. So if you are interested in the Co-CEO demo version for a GPT, click the link below and check it out, and check out the markdown as well, because we want to give this to you. Check out the demo, play with it yourself, and then you'll see like, oh, okay, I understand why I need the markdown. And remember, the markdown is what you can copy and paste, put your business details in, and then build it yourself. And if you would like us to do a teaching session on custom GPTs, let us know, because we are looking at that this month. So just leave us a comment. Wherever you are listening to this, leave us a comment. We see all of that every day. We see that. Our team sees that. And we would love to help you start exploring custom GPTs for you and your business, whatever that field is. Even if you're in creativity, you're a musician, you're an ultra runner, and you're thinking, how can I, strategize my next ultra run? Fantastic way to use a custom GPT for you.
Absolutely. You can feed the course information.
Absolutely.
Times, aid stations, right? It's incredible.
Start experimenting.
What you can do
Yeah.
to start to get ideas. I know I'm going to get off track here because that's my job here on the Embers Rising podcast. And, when it's loaded up on your phone, like the other night, we had a store-bought dinner that was going to go in, and the text that's like this giant block of text that has just teeny little letters, and so I break out my phone with the magnifying glass thing on it because I'm trying to find the cooking instructions, because it's mixed in with everything else.
Yeah.
Like, where am I going with this? And I took a picture of it and uploaded it to GPT, and it's like 50 minutes at 350 degrees. I'm like, thank you, right? So it's just those real world sort of things. The other thing I love about my personal GPT is I'm curious about stuff, right? It has nothing to do with business. It's just the world, right? And so you can click it into voice mode and you can go deep. My particular conversation the other day was the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, right? Like, it's complicated if you don't come from there. I'm trying to figure it out with the different religions and different sections and all those sorts of things in history. And man, you'll be like illuminated like a light bulb on a topic very, very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And you get to talk it through, right? So you've got this, like, I guess people even have GPT girlfriends and boyfriends now. So.
I've heard about that.
Very odd.
Very. But we want to give you the custom Co-CEO as a demo so that you know what's possible, and this template really helps you take it to the next level, and then you can use the personalized instructions to take it really to your next level, so you can really start experimenting. Now, if you're ready to dive deeper, please DM us. And we would want to know exactly. Get in one of our sessions to learn more about how to create custom GPTs and ask us some questions. We would love for you to be in there as we're starting to put together a brand new community that we want to build with you. So it's the perfect way to turn this AI curiosity into actions and results just like you want to. And I know that our listeners are so diverse, everything from, couples, learning to communicate together, all the way from business CEOs to ultra runners, or maybe you're just, loving personal development, or you like hanging out with Dave and Ed's energy, man. We honor and love you so much for being here. So I'm going to close this up, Dave, because we wanted to keep these last 2 episodes short.
And it's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. Remember, I think the key here is that AI is not here to replace you. It's here to amplify. Let me say that again. Remember, AI isn't here to replace you. It's here to amplify what makes you unique. So keep pushing boundaries, keep chasing big dreams, and most importantly, man, I love saying this, keep rising every single day. And know that we love you and we're here for you.
Aloha.
Aloha.